Shalom, shalom. First off, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash, Yahweh being the true name for the Heavenly Father, Yahushai being the name for his only begotten Son, who the way regularly calls God, and Jesus Christ. I want to give double honor to the elders and apostles of great millstone, and Thomas truth and will well, and salutations to you, hopefully like pushing this truth in all honesty and sincerity. This is Brother Yahweh Sab, comes you no less with spirit power, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahushai, and this lesson is going to be going into the official updates on Joe Biden's plans that he's came out with. Monday was a day that everybody was waiting to see what the COVID-19 response, what he's going to announce, what his intent on doing for that. And his plans, man, is exactly what brother's been saying. Hey, as soon as January comes, he takes office. Hey, he's about to show his horns, man, and he's about to make life very, very difficult for you people. We're talking about mandatory vaccines that he's going to be coming out with, or distributing mandatory mask updates, and more lockdowns, which is going to put more people out of business, cause people to lose more jobs, and more dependency on the government, man. So now we're getting ready to see what this dude has ready for you Jakes, man. And I'm going to go into a specific part of one of the plans that he has is going to be targeted to so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. Literally, the article's on CNN, and it shows you. I'm just gonna read it though, but here's a quick picture of basically a rundown as far as a fast in a nutshell what he's gonna do. Plans nationwide mandatory mask mandate, lockdown, and contact tracing. All right, and most of the contact tracing and lockdown is going to apply to these so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, because those are the ones that they're right now putting as the face of the ones that have the most cases. Okay, so I'm going to go into it here. All right, and we're going to bring out this information. So the article from his announcement that he came on Monday, like I said, that was a date that he announced his plans, is from CNN. How Biden plans to change the U.S. pandemic response. And he's got a specific list of things that he wants to do. Okay, it says by the time Biden-Harris administration takes over, this virus is going to have already run rampant through the communities across the United States. Dr. Megan Ranney, an emergency physician at Brown University, said on CNN. While President Donald Trump's administration touted the end of the pandemic as one of its accomplishments, Biden has laid out a pandemic plan in his campaign website, and is now echoed in the Biden-Harris transition website published on Sunday, which definitely encourage you to go check out that website as well. All right, so going in further here, I'm not going to read this whole entire article because I'll be like, a whole hour doing that. But basically, I'll just pick out specific key parts of this article that you need to know about. It says here are 5 ways Biden says the U.S. coronavirus response will change when he's president. Increased testing and contact tracing. Number 1 on Biden's list of promises is more testing and contact tracing. So he's going to be coming out with lots of tests. I mean, expect them to come across somebody that's going to be demanding or requesting you to get tested. Okay, and they're going to make these tests free. All right, so that's the first part. Okay, it says that they'll double drive-through testing sites, invest in new technology, and create U.S. public health job corps that would mobilize at least 100,000 culturally competent and contact tracers. So now they're going to be coming out saying, hey, have you been in contact with anybody with COVID? And they're going to come out and say, hey, you need to get tested. You being in contact, everybody at one point is going to be labeled as being in contact with somebody that's had it. Investments on vaccines and treatments. It says mandatory mask and more PPE, which stands for personal protective equipment. Biden said he'd work with local governors and mayors to mandate masks in public. An October model study showed that if 95% of Americans wore masks, more than 100,000 lives would be saved from COVID. All right, what this is definitely going to go part as far as mandating the microchip, the mark of the beast. When you come with something that you have to mandatory wear, that's gonna conditionally put people in a mentality that they have to accept something that they have to do in order for this virus. So wearing a mask everywhere, that's going to be mandatory. Okay. Going on further here, it says a push for, let's see. Oh, here's another part. I didn't even see this one here. Okay, it says, in addition to encouraging Congress to pass emergency package to help schools pay for pandemic supplies, the Biden administration would create a restart package to help small businesses pay for protective equipment and plexiglass. All right, so this is part of his, they're going to be targeting schools. Okay, it says a push for clear, consistent, evidence-based guidance. Biden administration says it would encourage CDC to make a more active role in providing specific guidance to communities about when they need to shut down. All right, so now you're going to have specific areas that's going to be targeting specific communities and encouraging them if they can stay open and shut down. And guess which communities is going to be targeted to be shut down? The quote-unquote ethnic communities. Places where so-called Black, Latino, and Native American people live. Those communities, they're going to be targeting more to shut down because those are the face, the image of where the most cases are at right now is what the media is pushing. It's pushing it falsely, but that's what's coming out right now. It says the Biden team would create a national pandemic dashboard so people could gauge for themselves in real time how much disease is in their zip code. That level of data has been hard to find. So the people are going to have access to know specific hotspots, which if you use any type of social media right now, for example, Snapchat has a feature where on the map on Snapchat, you can pull up a map and it'll show you hotspots and regions where the virus is at. So those hotspot areas I notice is all places where so-called Negros and Latinos and Native Americans are residing in different inner parts of the city. All right, so that's one of the ones they're going to be targeted to shut down. So not certain places are going to be open, and then specific places are going to be shut down. So most places where quote unquote Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans at, they're going to be targeting them to be shut down. And wait till we get down to this next part to prove exactly what I'm saying. I'm not just bullshitting. I'm reading you the article that's from CNN. What this dude's Biden statements are is what his plans are. Okay, it says Biden. Listen to this. Biden will also create a COVID-19 racial and ethnic disparities task force that will become a permanent infectious disease racial disparities task force after the pandemic that would address problems with disparities in the public health system. Black, Hispanic, and American Indian communities have had significantly higher rates of infection and hospitalization. That's bullshit, man. That's bullshit. You see how they switched it over from so-called Asian people or Chinese? Then it came over and said, so-called elderly white people would be the main ones. And now they put the face of who? Blacks, Hispanic, and American Indians. And as far as the brothers of Great Millstone, the prophets, who have we been teaching you are the so-called are the real children of Israel? We've been telling you that's the Blacks, Hispanics, and American Indians. We told y'all, man, that you are the God's chosen. Why is it that of all the people, those are the ones that are being targeted for this racial disparities task force? It didn't say nothing about Chinese, no other races, man. This devil is coming after you, Jakes. It says rejoining WHO, which is WHO, which is the World Health Organization, and searching for future threats. Biden says he would reestablish the U.S. relationship with WHO. Biden administration also says it plans to expand the CDC's ranks overseas so that its disease detectives can spot future threats. The Trump administration had cut some of those jobs, including in the China office. Biden also said he would restore the White House National Security Council Directorate for Global Health Security, Biodefense, which Trump administration had folded into another organization in 2018. It had been created by the Obama administration in 2016 to help manage threats like Ebola. So Biden's that dude, man. He's going to be pushing out lockdowns, shutdowns, quarantines. He's going to expect FEMA camps to open up, which are going to be quarantine camps for anybody that refuses vaccines. And this right here tells you who it's going to be targeting to. He got a specific task force for so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Now let's look up this word disparities and see what they're talking about with that. Okay. Disparities, a great difference. A great difference, okay? Interesting. So, racial difference task force. Basically, to break that down. COVID-19 Racial and Ethnic Difference Task Force is set up for you so-called Negroes and Latinos and Native Americans, man. We told y'all, man. We told y'all. Revelation 12:12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth he have but a short time. That great wrath is getting ready to take place, man. Come January, and he said that as soon as he takes office, he's getting ready to start enforcing these things. So you're going to have people knocking on your doors, man. Anybody that's living in areas where you have a high concentration of blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, you're going to see these task force members knocking on doors. Have you been tested? Have you been tested? Who's in your home? How many's in your home? What's going on, man? Even in white, quote unquote, white neighborhoods, you're going to have those people, the Edomites, that's going to be targeting, people of color in their neighborhoods, pointing them out. Hey, there's black people, the ones carrying around the virus. Oh, there's one that lives on our block. He lives in that house right there. Racial tensions will pick up. That was already established during Trump's administrations. 2nd Esdras 15 and 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. That goes into them lockdowns he's talking about. And another article I'm going to bring out here. Okay. From the Geller Report. A lot of these articles, basically, this is one of these articles that was created to bring dirt out on Biden. It was one of those typed up that was for the Trump administration. So that's one of these things you can really pay attention to, is when you want to know all the dirt that is involved on the opposite candidate about who's about to take office. Just go on the people that's putting out information to cause you to vote against them, because it shows you the true dirt. This is true what this damn devil is gonna do. So some articles like these, you can find out how evil this person's about to be, and you'll know all the evil from both of them. But this evil specifically about Biden has been brought out. It says that let's see here. Biden actually said he would lock down the U.S. if he were to win the election. And I remember watching the video of him saying this. He says, I would be prepared to do whatever it takes to save lives, because we cannot get the country moving until we control the virus, which is a hoax. Biden told ABC in August, in order to keep the country running and moving and the economy growing and the people employed, you have to fix the virus. I would shut it down. I would shut it down. I would listen to the scientists, he said. So he come out with his plans, and that's what he said what he would do. And you look at the numbers right now, it's saying that the numbers are going up. And it said by January, the other article we brought out, that by January, it'd be so many hundreds of thousands of more infected. And coincidentally, guess who's taking office in January? So, hey, man, if you're at the stores right now, it's probably wise. If you're going grocery shopping, just gradually buy a little bit more extra than you normally would. Get things of non-perishables and things like that, man. And have faith ultimately. You can't really be no doomsday prepper, because when the Spirit of the Lord comes for you to, get out of there, or the Lord wants to lift up a standard against Esau, you got to go with it. You can't plan on just being in one spot. But right here it says there were dauntingly high new cases numbers last week, And by the time Biden takes office, January 20th, the influential University of Washington Institute of Health Metrics and Evaluation model projects there would be more than 372,000 COVID-19 deaths. That's 135,000 more than the current total. So these are the number games they're playing to justify all the actions they want to do. And now you know who they're really specifically targeting. You better have some faith, man, and be built up to deal with everything that's getting ready to happen. Second address, 15 and 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell in. Woe means destruction. It says, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. One people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. That's exactly what we're getting ready to see. People are going to be fighting. When these lockdowns come, hey, Americans then got spoiled, and that's exactly what they wanted. They're doing this system perfectly, and we told you people why they opening shit back up. It's to get people comfortable, get them hefty, get their hopes up that life's gonna come back to normal. They done got back to restaurants. They done been going out to clubs and bars. People done been going on vacations again, hopping on planes, traveling. Out there dating. Women are back being promiscuous, shaking ass and dressing nasty and shit in public, leaving men to try to go get more adulterous behavior, to go get other men. Everything is open up, and these people do not want things to go back shut down, because they got a taste of what it's like to have things shut down, and they got a taste of enjoying all the wickedness that they're used to doing. So when they shut it back down again, and the general consensus is now that a lot more people are woke to the fact that this COVID shit is a hoax, they're going to fight, man. They're going to raise hell. And the rebellious house, which is the nation of Israel, the Hebrew Israelites, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, they're going to rebel the most. They're the ones tearing shit up the most in all these protests and stuff like that, acting a damn fool. Because they can't go out and get their weed and be wicked and do all the things that Esau set up as wickedness for them to love to do. They're going to act a damn fool, man. A lot of Jakes, the general mindset, they ain't going for this vaccine that's coming out. And that's exactly what they wanted to do. They played on the mentality of you people to get you from being docile, to get you to riot. And when they come out with another shutdown and stuff like that, hey, them swords about to be in them hands. And they said that they specifically got a task force. They got a task force, man. Let me go back into this, bro. He done came out with a task force for niggas. Where's that at, man? Hold on. Bear with me. Okay, we're getting closer to it. Here we go. Create a COVID-19 racial and ethnic disparities, which means difference, task force that will become a permanent infectious disease racial difference task force after the pandemic that would address problems with differences in the public health system. What that is, that's going to be targeted to push out the vaccine, the chips, and round you niggas up, man. Let's click on this task force and see if they got any more information about that. I haven't really read it as far as specifics yet. It talks about it's saying stuff as far as helping some type of these people too as well. Let's see if they got anything here. All right, distributing vaccines, protect older men at high risk. Let's see if it goes into this racial disparity part. Task force here. All right, it didn't really look like it said a whole lot as far as me just skimming through this. I mean, y'all might want to look this up. Okay, here it goes right here, a little bit more. Yeah, it's not really given a whole lot of information as far as high details on what this task force intends on doing. But it's interesting how no other races is mentioned, because everybody, quote unquote, is able to be infected with this virus. But the number game they're playing right now, they're saying this is higher amongst Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans or American Indians. So, you know who the threat is as far as the faces of who this guy is looking as a threat. And you look at this guy's track record, all the laws and rules on incarcerations. This dude actually wrote a lot of the bills to lock up so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans to the high incarcerated rate that it is right now. This guy was responsible for that. And I was watching a lot of those videos on that this morning, just seeing how much of a devil this man is. The three strikes rule and things like that. He all had a part in that. He was the guy that wrote all those plans, man. And now he's your president. Whoo, boy. With that, I'm going to close out. Give all honor and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Kakadash, double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, that taught me the truth and will well. And salutations to you, hopeful pushing his truth in all honesty and sincerity. Shalom, Abba Ball.